From Heisman finalist to NFL passing leader to early retirement talks at 27, from Alabama's golden boy to Miami's franchise savior to medical cautionary tale. Just 2 years ago, Tua led the NFL in passer rating, yards per attempt, and QBR. He threw for over 4,600 yards and 32 touchdowns. He had the Dolphins looking like legitimate Super Bowl contenders. What the hell happened to Tua Tagovailoa? The story of Tua Tagovailoa isn't just about football. It's about the brutal reality of a sport that can build you up and break you down in equal measure. It's about the impossible choices athletes face when their dreams collide with their long-term health. And it's about how one player's journey forever changed how we think about brain injuries in professional sports. Before we start, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's dive in. Let's rewind to where it all began. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, November 2017. The College Football National Championship game. Alabama is trailing Georgia 13-0 at halftime. Nick Saban makes a decision that will alter college football history. He benches starting quarterback Jalen Hurts and inserts true freshman Tua Tagovailoa. What happens next becomes instant legend. Tua leads Alabama to a comeback victory, capped by a perfect 41-yard touchdown strike to Devonta Smith in overtime. 2nd and 26. A perfect spiral, a perfect moment, a star is born. Over the next 2 seasons, Tua rewrites the Alabama record books. In 2018, he throws for 3,966 yards and 43 touchdowns against just 6 interceptions. He finishes second in Heisman voting to Kyler Murray. In 2019, he's on pace for even better numbers before disaster strikes, a dislocated hip with a posterior wall fracture against Mississippi State. A devastating injury that ends his college career and raises serious questions about his NFL future. Despite the injury concerns, the Miami Dolphins select Tua 5th overall in the 2020 NFL Draft. Tank for Tua had been a rallying cry for Dolphins fans throughout the 2019 season, and they got their wish. The franchise that had been searching for Dan Marino's successor for 2 decades believed they'd finally found their man. Tua's rookie season is a mixed bag. He starts 9 games going 6-3, but his numbers are modest. 1,814 yards, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's benched multiple times for Ryan Fitzpatrick. The arm strength doesn't look the same post-injury. The processing speed seems a step slow. Whispers of bust begin to circulate. Year 2 brings more questions than answers. Tua misses 4 games with fractured ribs and a fractured finger. When he does play, the results are improved but still underwhelming. 2,653 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions in 13 games. The Dolphins finished 9-8, missing the playoffs. Head coach Brian Flores is fired amid rumors that he wanted to move on from Tua. Then comes the turning point. Mike McDaniel is hired as head coach in February 2022. From day one, he makes it clear Tua is his guy.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man. One thing I know about you is you have the ambition to be great.
He builds an offense specifically designed to maximize Tua's strengths: quick decision-making, accuracy on short and intermediate throws, anticipation. He brings in Tyreek Hill to pair with Jalen Waddle, giving Tua 2 of the fastest receivers in football. The results are immediate and spectacular. Through the first 12 games of the 2022 season, Tua looks like an MVP candidate. The Dolphins are 8-4. He's on pace for over 4,500 yards and 30-plus touchdowns and led the league in passer rating. Then comes December 25th, 2022, against the Green Bay Packers. Tua's head slams against the turf. His second concussion of the season. He missed the final 3 games, and Miami limps into the playoffs without him, losing in the wild-card round. Despite the concerning end to 2022, Tua enters 2023 with renewed confidence. He spends the off-season training in jiu-jitsu to learn how to fall safely. He bulks up to better absorb hits. The NFL implements new concussion protocols, partly in response to his injuries. The stage is set for redemption. And what a redemption it is. Tua starts all 17 games in 2023, throwing for a league-leading 4,624 yards and 29 touchdowns against just 14 interceptions, along with 69.3% completion percentage and 101.1 passer rating. He recorded personal highs in completions, passing yards, touchdowns, and completion percentage, and made his first Pro Bowl. He also led the league in both completion percentage and passing yards, which is a rare dual achievement. The Dolphins finish 11-6, making the playoffs for the second straight year. They lose to the eventual Super Bowl champion Chiefs in the wildcard round, but the future looks bright. Entering 2024, expectations are sky high. Tua signs a massive 4-year, $212 million extension in the offseason, making him one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in the league. The Dolphins are considered legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Tua played every game the previous season, and the hip injury is a distant memory. The concussion concerns have faded. Then comes Week 2 against the Bills. Tua is already having a bad game, throwing 3 interceptions with 1 return for pick 6. Late third quarter, Tagovailoa scrambled but did not slide, colliding headfirst with Bills safety Damar Hamlin. Tagovailoa went into a fencing posture, a sign of a concussion. He was attended to by medical trainers for several minutes before walking off the field and into the locker room under his own power. Tagovailoa was ruled out for the remainder of the game with a concussion. Tua missed 6 games and Miami fell just short of the playoffs. Tua Tagovailoa met with multiple specialists to get diagnosis of his health. Even he himself admitted retirement has crossed his mind after the severe concussion during the 2022 season and again in the 2024 season. He was in a crossroad of either to continue on his lifelong dream of being an NFL quarterback or retire for his health and long-term quality of life. He ultimately decided to push away any retirement thoughts and continue on with his NFL career. To prepare for the 2025 season, he shifted his focus and energy on recovery and returning to the field, and not dwell on retirement. The numbers tell the story of how good Tua is. In just 64 career games, Tua threw for 15,506 yards and 100 touchdowns. His career passer rating of 97.9 and 68.1% completion percentage rank high among quarterback elites. The comparisons to his draft classmates are particularly striking. Justin Herbert, taken 1 pick after Tua, has continued his ascent, signing a huge contract extension and establishing himself as one of the league's premier passers. Jalen Hurts, Tua's former teammate at Alabama, who was benched for him in that national championship game, has led the Eagles to 2 Super Bowl appearances and Super Bowl championship in 2024, placing him as one of the great quarterbacks in the league. Even Jordan Love, taken 26th overall in that same 2020 draft and forced to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 seasons, has emerged as Green Bay's franchise quarterback. The impact of Tua's career extends far beyond his statistics or the Dolphins' record books. His injuries and subsequent retirement sparked a renewed conversation about player safety that continues to reshape the NFL. In response to Tua's and other players that suffered concussions, the NFL implemented the ataxia provision to its concussion protocol. This rule mandates that any player showing signs of ataxia, abnormality of balance/stability, motor coordination, or dysfunctional speech must be removed from play and cannot return to the game. Had this rule been in place earlier, Tua might have been protected from some of his most serious injuries. The league also increased the number of independent neurotrauma consultants at each game and expanded their authority to remove players showing any neurological symptoms. Mandatory recovery periods for concussed players were extended. The gross motor instability loophole that had allowed Tua to return to a game in 2022 despite stumbling after a hit was closed. College football and high school programs across the country followed suit, implementing stricter concussion protocols inspired by the NFL's changes. Youth football saw a significant shift toward flag football for younger ages, with tackle football delayed until players are older and more physically developed. Equipment manufacturers accelerated development of advanced helmet technology, with several new models specifically designed to reduce rotational forces that cause concussions. The NFL partnered with these companies, offering financial incentives for innovations in player safety equipment. Perhaps most significantly, Tua's story changed how we talk about concussions. The image of him on the field, arms frozen in the fencing response, after a hit against the Bills in 2024, became a powerful symbol of the sport's dangers. Parents cited his injuries when deciding whether to let their children play football. Current players began speaking more openly about their own concussion experiences and concerns.
Couldn't see, couldn't breathe, couldn't live. I thought I was going to pass away.
The cultural shift has been remarkable. Where players were once celebrated for toughing it out after a big hit, they're now encouraged to prioritize their health. Teams that rush players back from head injuries face public scrutiny and potential penalties. The macho culture that treated brain injuries as just another part of the game is slowly but surely changing. Tua's story raises uncomfortable questions about football's future. If a quarterback, the most protected position on the field, could have his career ended by concussions despite all the rule changes designed to protect players. What does that mean for linebackers, running backs, and safeties who endure dozens of subconcussive hits every game? As medical research continues to advance our understanding of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, and other brain injuries, will football be able to evolve quickly enough to remain both entertaining and reasonably safe? Or will Tua's generation be remembered as the last to play the game as we currently know it? These are questions without easy answers, but they're questions we must confront as fans of the sport. The gladiatorial aspects that make football so thrilling to watch are the same ones that put its participants at risk. Finding the right balance between excitement and safety may be the greatest challenge the NFL has ever faced.
The first item on the concussion protocol is a trigger or an activation, and that can be done from a variety of individuals. So what we tell everyone is if you see something, say something.
Some analysts even suggest Tua should go into broadcasting and start his post-football life early. His intelligence, charisma, and football knowledge make him a natural for broadcasting. His personal experience with brain injuries positions him as a powerful advocate for player safety. His financial security, he earned over $150 million in his brief career, gives him the freedom to pursue whatever path he chooses. In many ways, Tua's greatest impact on football may come off the field rather than on it. The quarterback who once dazzled us with his left-handed spirals may ultimately be remembered more for how he changed the game's approach to brain health. So what the hell happened to Tua Tagovailoa? The simple answer is that football happened. The same sport that made him famous, that gave him a platform and generational wealth, also can take away the one thing he loves the most, to play the game itself. But there's a more complex answer too. What happened to Tua is that he became the face of a reckoning that football has been avoiding for decades. His injuries forced the NFL, its players, and its fans to confront uncomfortable truths about the game's dangers. In that sense, Tua's legacy transcends touchdowns and wins. His influence on football will continue for generations. The rule changes, the protocols, the cultural shifts, all bear his imprint. Future quarterbacks who are protected by these measures may never know his name, but they'll benefit from his experience. For fans of the game, Tua's story should serve as both a cautionary tale and a call to action. We can love football while still demanding it become safer. We can celebrate big hits while still recognizing their potential consequences. We can honor the warriors who play the game while still insisting they be protected from their own courage. What do you think? Did Tua make the right decision to continue to play in the NFL? Should the NFL be doing more to protect players? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.